What's up, squad? It's Brandon from the Bantu Sun. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, I do try to come through with some good news when I can, but unfortunately, 2023 is not rounding out that way on the back half. Just got whiff of a story. Weekend massacre 200 people in the Bokos region of the Central Plateau State in Nigeria. Wanted to touch base on this because of numerous reasons. One, this is considered possibly a byproduct of religious militancy. The corporates are considered to be the Fulani herders. The herders have been having some antagonistic relationships with the Christian farmers. This is nothing new. They have been in beef and arguments over local resources, especially water resources and land rights. Another reason why this is a major issue is it happened in Nigeria. So here we're big proponents, big fans of Nigeria. Nigeria is supposed to be one of the great stars in Africa. And well deservedly so, Nigeria is a demographic beast. Oh, 200 million people and growing, expected to outpace so much of the world and have a population the size larger than America at the end of the century. In fact, in Nigeria is almost operating like the Wild Wild West, considering the economy and facility it needs to give to its growing demography is astonishing. So we made a video called "Why is Nigeria Shrinking?" and it was talking about how on a real term per capita GDP basis, Nigeria has pretty much stagnated over the last few years. This is astonishing considering that most of its peer group are growing at an exponential clip. Major demographic countries such as India, Ethiopia, China are booming relatively speaking. They're keeping their economy apace to their demographics. This is not the case with Nigeria. Their economy is lagging their demographics. So when you have less, the smaller or mitigating size of your economy, and in exploding demographics, you have more people competing over ever less and less resources. That's a big problem. On top of that, you will figure a country of this size will at least have some sovereign integrity. So the fact that it's operating like the Wild Wild West, if you look at a map of the plateau state, this isn't on the fringes of northern Nigeria in the middle of the desert. This is right in the heartland. The distance between Abuja to the Plateau State is on par with Washington, D.C. to New York City. This happened right next to the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. And the people out there feel as though this is not the wastelands. Like, that's the major point. This is actually in the heart of the country. This lawlessness is occurring. On top of this, is to the severe degree it has occurred. I've heard time frames that this weekend attack, a weekend of Christmas, I mind you, this was an Islamic attack on the Christian farmers. It the time frame I received was at minimum this massacre occurred at 12 hours for 12 hours. I've heard from 12 hours to 48 hours of slaughtering in a neighboring region of the capital city. No law enforcement came, there was no respite. Pure violence and mayhem for 12 to as many as 48 hours next to the capital city. The attack was so coordinated. One, you can tell by the breadth, the amount of people that were actually attacked 200. It occurred over 20 communities. So it had to be coordinated enough to get that breadth of population, but at the same time, the diverse communities, or the multitude of them, that they had to simultaneously attack in a time frame that would allow them to do this diabolical deed and not be halted by government services such as civil services such as the police. So wanted to report on this story because a lot of mainstream media units are not doing so. This is a tragedy. Prayers for Nigeria. We all hope the best that they're able to come on top of this. Nigeria just elected a new president, President Tinubu. His vice president, as I understand, has already gone out to the Plateau State to assure the population that this is not acceptable. But the fact that it occurred, how many countries in this world, especially the size of Nigeria, do you think you can just massacre 200 people and there be a question of will justice be served? This is it's beyond anarchy. It's beyond anarchy. It's diabolical. It's ridiculous. So prayers for Nigeria. We're hoping the best, and we're going to look for the outcome. But this can be an escalation of larger things. But one thing that seems obvious is that a lot of people in this community feel as though they won't receive any justice or retribution for the violence that was inflicted upon them. So we're going to continue to monitor this situation. As you know, feel free to fill us in. This story is evolving. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content. And until next time, take care. Back to up.